Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. We're just right at the start of it, and we have a lot of great things to look at. Quick little peek at the U.S. markets. You can see the Dow's up a little bit. Dow and S&P were up a bit. Gold and oil kind of just maintaining mostly for the day. Not too much in the way of that. We are in full swing summer market, so you can pretty much count on summer trading conditions from here on out, but there will still be some great trading opportunities, great reversals and breakouts to be trading, so we'll talk about what those are. Quickly, we saw some UK PMI numbers, came out a little bit better than expected. Bank holiday in Canada. We had US PMI numbers that came out slightly better than expected, but not too much, just by less than 0.5%. And the big news coming up is going to be interest rate announcements and the statement, which is about 6 hours from now out of Australia. So be ready for that. That's going to be definitely a bit of a mover. So just be ready and looking for some of that movement. And then coming up tomorrow, we have a little bit of news as well. You can see retail sales and trade balance out of Australia, and then construction PMI out of the UK. So it's going to be a pretty heavy couple of days, excuse me, for Australia to start everything off. But then it goes. Then it kind of quiets down for Australia from there, and then the dollar movements, U.S. dollar movements, should start to really pick up from there. Okay, quick little look. The euro dollar opened this week. We had a low. We had this big move down into 130 on the euro dollar here. It's moved down and double bottomed right there. You can see just a perfect double bottom. Nice little hammer there. That went just a hair below 130. And then this is just a tiny bit below 130, but overall our 130 area is holding. One thing that we were looking at was this channel right here. So far, we had the channel kind of a little tighter in here, and then it kind of broke out, and then we moved it out a little bit, and it's broken out again. So far the channel looks like it's kind of giving way just a little bit. We've got a lot of support in this 130 area. You can see over the last couple of weeks. That will probably be able to hold the euro for just a bit longer. I still think it's heading lower, and I'm pretty sure it will. I think we'll get a nice move down into, probably 128.50 over the next couple of weeks, kind of that general area, but it's going to be a lot of bouncing around. But let's watch this channel, and this move right here against this double bottom. The two opportunities that I'm going to be looking for here will, number one, be any kind of breakout, any move back towards this 130 area. If we get that anytime sooner than later, we're not super far off of it. We're 60, 70 pips off that 130 spot / all of this support here. So if we see this thing drop, 40 pips, somewhere in there, which is not that far at all, I'll be looking for opportunities to get long against this low. So that's what we're looking for first of all, is just getting long against this low right here. And that should be a nice opportunity. If we don't see the retracement, excuse me, then I'm going to be looking to trade the break of this area. We have about 130.70 that seems to be holding pretty well. If we get a break of that, we've got quite a bit of resistance up here that doesn't give us a lot of room for an easy move up, but we still may have that run into R1, into the 200 moving average, that general area. And again, if we made it all the way to the 200 moving average, that's still only about 30 pips. So it's going to get bumpy and rough and kind of ugly up here. So I'd rather buy on the dip. I'd rather buy against 130, meaning I want to get in, somewhere in the 130, 15 area, 130.20, 130.10, somewhere in that general spot. So that we can, buy up into some of this retracement. You can see that our move from this high to this low, that's bottoming out pretty well. We can see it a little bit better on the 4-hour chart. We have kind of continued to consolidate just below the 23% fib, and if we start to cross that, we could see a nice, easy, quick move up into some of these highs, which are the 38% fib, which is also that infamous area 131.50. So we'll be looking for that, and we'll see where that one goes. So from there, that's kind of where we're looking to take things. Again, looking to buy against 130 if we get a little bit of retracement. Otherwise, we'll be looking for a little quick scalp type trade up into that weekly pivot and into that 200 moving average in that whole area there, 23% fib. Okay, moving on to the pound dollar. The pound dollar so far is kind of just channeling really nicely. Again, the euro dollar is just breaking out of that channel. You can see that 4-hour channel. We're just getting out of it right there. Well, the pound dollar is actually very nicely in this channel. You can see from the 4-hour chart. It's been in it for 2 solid weeks now, and we're going into the 3rd week. We're just at the very beginning of it. But it's kind of running and moving and doing its thing here. So what I'm ultimately looking for is to see if this channel is going to hold, see if this thing's ready to break or not. We came to the top of this bigger channel here, and we broke out nicely, or excuse me, we bounced nicely, and we've come off the top of that very well. And I think we're going to start looking for opportunities to get long against some of these lower areas that are, 150 plus pips away or so, but starting to trade against some of that bottom of the channel zone there. We don't have any really significant candlestick patterns yet. I'm going to keep an eye out for some of that. What I'm watching right now is this little ascending trend line. If that breaks, we might get a little run down into these lows again, which are about 35 pips. Those lows around 150, 165. You can see we're sitting about 152.15-ish area. So we're going to keep an eye on that. You can see that the high is just about 152.50. It's actually just a tiny bit below that. You can see this high right here is 152.48 and change, but I just kind of went 50 just to keep the numbers round. I am looking for an opportunity to buy against this low as well. Again, we're only currently from it right now, we're 45 pips off that, so I want to see a little bit of a dip, and I want to buy against that low, targeting the weekly pivot point. I think we can get there, but we want to get in close to this low, because if we do break that low, then we've got a little bit of room, a pretty decent amount of room actually, to get into the bottom of this channel, and so that's definitely what I'm watching for. So far that little low right there, that 151.65, is a pretty good looking one, and should be a nice opportunity to trade against and target that weekly missed pivot up there. We also have a missed pivot here. We kind of talked about this one, how it got, we got really close to it, and then it kind of just missed it. So we still got a missed pivot from Thursday of last week, plus a missed weekly pivot. So a couple of good areas to target on the upside. Looking for a dip, a little short-term break, probably a little scalp sell right there to get down in towards those lows, and then buy against those lows, targeting the missed weekly pivot is what I'm looking for the moment. Aussie dollar, there's nothing much to do on the Aussie dollar for now. We have to just wait for the news to come out. I'm going to see how the movement goes over the next several hours, and we'll probably place some pending orders before the news comes this evening. It's again several hours away, but interest rate news, there's definitely nothing to trade here yet that is safe. But so far, it's definitely in this downward movement. It looks like it's finally recovering, finally retracing just a little bit. We've taken out the weekly pivot already, so some pretty good stuff here. We're just going to kind of keep our eyes and ears open and kind of see where this goes, but nothing on the Aussie dollar or Aussie yen just yet. The Aussie yen is moving nicely, and it has dipped down to the bottom of this channel. Again, there's not going to be anything safe to trade on here until after the news, but it's running up this channel pretty well. It's going to be very, very important to watch these 1 hour and 4 hour chart channels, and we're at the top of this channel on the Aussie yen, and I think that we might start to see some little topping out patterns and some opportunities for this thing to start heading back down. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but again, not too much to do right now before the news. Pairs that are getting pretty interesting are the yen pairs once again. Euro yen and pound yen are looking very good. Very nice trend line, very nice channel right here. We've been bumping up this channel, and if this thing breaks, I'm very interested in the sell opportunity towards this missed weekly pivot, missed daily pivot. I think we have some really, really good opportunities on both of those. So let's keep our eyes and ears open and ready for that. You can see that we're currently trading around 130.23, and we have this major level right here, which is 129.90. So we're just a handful of pips away from that, 35 or so pips. If we break this channel and if we get below this area, I'm definitely looking for an opportunity to sell this break. Stops above the highs here, 35, 40 pips away, and looking for runs of 100 plus pips down into these missed pivot points. So I'm really more interested at this point in looking for a break of these levels. I think the euro dollar and pound dollar are going to continue up, and I think the euro yen and pound yen might be ready to come down just a little bit. So I'm going to be watching for those breakouts and for those levels. If they don't happen, then there may be some opportunities to continue trading off this channel, but I'm going to hold out and see if that break does happen and if we can get short euro yen towards that missed weekly and daily pivot. And the pound yen is a very similar situation. Look at these highs that we've kind of tested back here a couple of times. This is around 151.45. and we're starting to break out of this little short-term channel. We broke out of it and then kind of pushing back up just a little bit. So below 151.45, we're only 20 pips or so away from that right now. I think we have a good opportunity to target the weekly pivot, and we also have a missed daily pivot down here as well, which is 160 pips. We've kind of hit the weekly pivot to start off. We had a nice little spike down, so we've kind of taken care of that weekly pivot, but we still have a very much missed daily pivot here that should be a good opportunity. So I'm looking for both of these, and they should have some nice setups on both of these yen pairs. So again, leaning more towards the selling side on those, and looking more to buy on the dip on euro dollar and pound dollar. So that's it for the moment. Daily wrap-up session coming in a little bit. Thanks for being on with us, everyone, and I will see you in the chat.